So I play a lot of games in a year. It's kind of a perk of being a stay-at-home dad. So I thought I'd talk about some of my favorite games that I've played this year. Now this isn't, this is going to be a top 10 list, because YouTube fucking loves those things. But this is not going to be a top 10 games of 2024. This is just a top 10 games I played in 2024. Now, most of these games are going to be relatively recent. Not a lot of old ones on the list, but there are old ones. So let's do my top 10 games of 2024. Number 10, Beat Saber. I got my first VR headset this year. I got started with the Quest 2, and I fell in love utterly and deeply. And I was like, I want to play Beat Saber. I've seen so many cool videos, so I played Beat Saber. And as you may or may not know, judging by the look of me, I'm quite a bit overweight, which I'm working on actively. But Beat Saber has managed to make cardio so much fun. And then I got it on PC VR, so I'm modding it, and I'm adding cool songs, I'm adding fun songs. I'm really into Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso on Beat Saber. That's a lot of fun, as well as Renee Rapp's It's Not My Fault. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber between the Meta app itself and PC VR on Steam. Number 9, Resident Evil 7 VR. What a fucking nightmare that was. Now, Resident Evil 7 is already my favorite Resident Evil game. I utterly adore it. I was not prepared for how terrifying the VR experience would be. It was intense. It's so intense. It's like you'd think it's super scary on like the computer screens or your big screen TVs, but no, having it like feeling like you are right there in the action is just that is how you play that game. That is, oh my god, it was so fantastic, so much fun. Number 8, Fort Solis. I went into this one early on in the channel. I expected Dead Space, because I found this in a Dead Space group, and I learned pretty quickly it was not Dead Space, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was beautiful, it was gripping, the voice acting was stupendous, and the twist at the end is just like, whew, god damn, what a great game. And they're supposedly working on a movie for it. That's going to be exciting. I'm pretty excited about that. Number 7. Now here's a deep cut. This one's here because, well, it's The Thing. The Thing. I love The Thing. It's my favorite movie. I got to play the game. The game isn't perfect by any means, but I had mostly a lot of fun. Enough to where, like, I'm still talking about it today. I'm waiting on the remake from Night Dive now, which was announced 7 days after my review, after I had said, oh, they're never gonna remake this, and then they did. They announced it 7 days later. What kind of shit is that? Anyway, it's fantastic. If you're a fan of The Thing, I highly recommend playing this, even if it is at least once. Number 6, Resident Evil 4 VR. Got 2 Resident Evils on here. Resident Evil 4 VR was like is the first VR game I played, outside of like Beat Saber. Like I played Beat Saber, of course, and then I did a little Assetto Corsa, but it was the first like game I played on my VR headset, and I was absolutely floored. It is so much fun, and granted, it is a meta exclusive, and it's just weird to think that there's a meta exclusive Resident Evil 4 version, but it is a meta exclusive, but it is so much fucking fun. If you have a Meta VR headset. I don't know which ones it's able to play. I got the 2 and the 3 now. I played it on the 2. It performed just fine. It was awesome. It was so much fun. It is. I've played a lot of VR games since I played that one, and it is still the most fun I've had playing a VR game. Number 5. This year is the year I picked up Red Dead 2. And god damn, I cried. Oh man, I cried. I went for the high honor run the first playthrough. You know, I tried to live the way Arthur Morgan would have wanted to live, the way it seemed as though he wanted to live, you know, as portrayed by his dialogue. And it hurt. It hurt, man. But it was absolutely fantastic. It is. I cannot see how Rockstar can top that game. I can't see it. Grand Theft Auto 6 is around the corner, and I don't see how they can top Red Dead Redemption 2. It is phenomenal. Number 4, Alan Wake 2. I think this came out last year. Doesn't matter. I've already played it twice. I'm playing it like right now, like as I'm like filming this. Not like literally because I'm filming this right now. I'm playing it again. You know, all the DLC is finally out, so I'm playing it. And it is just, man, I love horror. I love the genre. I love when the genre doesn't take itself too seriously. You can see that in films like, you know, Scream, where it's clearly a scary film, but the film doesn't take itself seriously. You know, it's not Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. It's its own entity. It lives and breathes its own universe. It is an amalgamation of like everything that makes the horror genre great. And I think that is what Alan Wake is. It is everything that makes the horror genre great. You know, you get the horror survival aspect of it. You know, fucking musical bits that's in there, fucking great. You know, this, the campiness is, you know, that beast, that not B-side, but like horror adjacent properties that like heavily influenced it. Like obviously Twin Peaks, and you got, you know, properties that influenced it like X-Files. Like obviously it's a huge influence on it, and it's just, it's fantastic. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's gonna be forever in my top 10. It's such a good game. I love Alan Wake 2, and I cannot wait to see what Remedy does in the future. Number 3, we have yet another VR game. This one is honestly like the best VR game I've played. So far. Half-Life Alyx, man, wow. It definitely revitalized my love for the series. It revitalized my hope for Half-Life 3. It is the single most immersive VR game I've ever played. You can touch everything. It is one point where I'm like fighting a head crab, and the head crab jumps at me, and I manage to grab it in midair, and I'm just all like, I'm throwing it around. It's so much fun, dude. Oh my god, I had so much fun playing Half-Life Alyx. It really just reminded me of how good Valve is at making games, and I wish they would do it again. I get it. You know, you're concerned that the hype of Half-Life 3 is going to far exceed anything you can do. Fuck it, just do it. What's the word? Like, people still gonna play Half-Life 1. In fact, you release Half-Life 3, more people are gonna buy Half-Life 1 and 2. You know, Episode 1 and Episode 2 also. As well as, like, you know, the Orange Box and all the other Valve games. The worst that could happen is it makes people be like, oh, well, I like this better, and then they buy it more. You know? Give us Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3. It's so good. Number 2. Silent Hill 2. Wow. When the game was announced, I wasn't sure about this game. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to expect. No one really did. And I was skeptical. I don't really care about Bloober games. They've got like one game that's like, I think is really spectacular. Bloober spectacular, not like, spectacular. It's good. It's a good game. Observer. But Silent Hill 2 was just, like, granted, yeah, they didn't have to like make their own material. They did the damn thing. They did it. It is fantastic. It's phenomenal. Anyone who says otherwise is a fucking liar. Like, straight up, they're liars. Okay, so before we get to number 1, I want to talk about a couple other games. I guess 11, 12, and 13. They didn't make the list, but I just wanted to like put them out there. Like, hey, these were super close to getting that spot. So first is going to be Resident Evil 4, the remake. It was good. It's fun. It's a fantastic game. It definitely emblematic of the downfall of what made Resident Evil great, in my opinion. It's still a good game. I think the remake is a drastic improvement for the tone of Resident Evil 4 itself. But I think the VR game is like, the VR Resident Evil 4 is what the game should have been to begin with, and you can't really feel like that without playing the VR game. But Resident Evil 4 Remake feels like what the 2D version of the game was trying to be. It was fantastic. The Ashley stuff is still weird to me, but it was great game. Great game. Number 12, I guess, second runner-up, Dredge. Dredge is a little cozy game. It's a fishing cozy game. It's a Lovecraftian horror fishing cozy game where you uncover this mystery, and in the end, it turns out you were the bad guy all along, and it's awesome. It's so good. They just put out a new DLC, which I have not played, but what I have played, fantastic. Highly recommend it. I can't speak highly enough of it. Dredge is fantastic. Fantastic. My last runner-up, Still Wakes the Deep. I think it is the best original horror game to be released this year so far. I haven't played Alien Rogue Incursion yet. It's still in the air. But it's fantastic. The Chinese Room really nailed it. It is fantastic. It is. A lot of people don't understand the story. I understood the story, and it is deeply emotional. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I don't really know what to say. It's a walking simulator. There's not really a whole lot of gameplay. There's walking in their story. It's all about the story, and the story is fantastic. The level of immersion that they managed to pull in, with the world building of like the oil rig and the safety features, or lack of, fantastic. As a child of an oil rig guy, yeah, they nailed it. Fucking nailed it. All right, number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for. Probably not, but here it is anyways. Astrobot. It's no surprise. I called it my game of the year, like the day it dropped. I love horror games. Don't get me wrong. I love the horror games. I play them non-stop. But platformers, that's a whole nother level to me. Like platformers, here's horror games, right? And there's a big gap, and then it's platformers. I love Look, I got a fucking Bullet Bill tattoo. I got the fucking Munchers from Mario 3. I'm a huge fan of platformers, and Astrobot made me feel like I was a kid again, dude. Like, wow. It felt like sitting in front of my little 17-inch CRT TV playing fucking Super Mario Sunshine, or a couple years ago when I picked up Hat in Time. That was a great game too, and it reminded me of all of those great 3D platformers that I grew up on, and the things that made me fall in love with gaming. And to feel that again in 2024. After all we've been through this year, it was nice to just play a game and just smile and forget and just feel nostalgic for a game I was currently playing. I don't usually like nostalgia, but wow. And then all the DLCs came out and I beat the shit out of those too. I managed to beat the game twice the weekend it came out. 100% both times. Fantastic title. Ugh. So good. Anyway, this is my top 10 of 2024. I very much look forward to seeing what 2025 has to offer in terms of both new games and old games, because I'll be playing some old games too. I don't discriminate. I'm excited. Maybe if this video does well, I'll do a top 10 worst games I played this year. We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see how that goes. I'm also going to try to upload more, not necessarily reviews, but just videos in general. The algorithm seems to want me to push more, so I'll push more. I'll put more videos out. I got a couple things coming out. I got a revised Silent Hill 2 review coming, and I have probably top 10 worst games I played this year, and I'm going to start talking about games that I'm excited that are coming out. And first off is going to be, I'm going to put a video out for Alien Rogue Incursion, because that's coming out soon, and I want to talk about that in a video before I play it, so I can look back into the video and be all like, I was wrong about this, or I was right about this. Either way, this has been my top 10 of 2024. 13, I guess. And that's it. That's the video. Slosh out.
I need to hide. You've been a bad girl!